Thank you. Hi, Pinsan. Good morning. Kumusta ang morning mo, Pinsan? Ang ilong ko. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Wala pa nga, wala wala nga akong kachat kaya tahimik ako, Pinsan eh. Wala akong kausap. Kaya tahimik ako. Where's my chocolate? Eto, kauwi lang naglalakad sa labas. Good morning! Ano yan? Exercise, Pinsan? Exercise ba? Ay na, nagapuak, nagmarites, takal manjay likod mo, apo, nagbikald. Oh? Taapay! Apay, ano yun, homesick or na in love? Mali. Ay na, ngayon takot na ako maligo likod ata. Apa, bakit ka naman, ay, Jay, apay nga mabutang ka nga, agdigo sound, ay, narigat na ita ka, Pinsan. Nag-away sila ng auntie ko, nakita na lang nagbigti. Ala, grabe. Bakit naman ganun? Nag-away lang sila, nagbigti na. Hala. Baka naman may problema, Pinsan. Kaya nagbigti. Hindi na nakayanan. Kahapon nakita ko pa siya sa likod namin. Hala, kawawa naman. Grabe naman yan. Nag-away lang sila, nagpakamatay na. Marami nga diyan. Marami nga diyan, mas malaki pa ang problema, eh. Ayan, away mag-asawa lang, nagbigti na, Diyos ko po naman. Umakyat siya sa bayog, doon siya nagbigti. Hala, grabe naman. Condolence garod pinsan. Ang ganda nga, nagustuhan ko rin siya pinsan. Nagustuhan ko rin siya. Sige, damihan ko yan. Ang hirap kasi pinsan kasi mix yung pagbili mo ba, ganito. Ayan mix siya na, yung mga na yan, pinagsama-sama ko lang. Meron naman akong red. Meron akong yellow. Meron akong puti. Yan. Lahat ng kulay pinsan, meron ako. Saan pupunta yung aking? Maganda kasi colorful. Ang cute niya. Ako rin, nagandahan ako. Marami naman na akong natapos. Papakita ko sa'yo. Ito. Marami na akong natapos. Ito yellow with blue. Yan. Yellow. And then purple. Meron pa. Ito yung aking support for Ukraine. Ayan. Uy, maganda yung yellow. And then orange. Ayan. Meron din akong red and white. to pinsan. Yung ano, maganda yung pink talaga at yung yellow. Ayan, yung red. Ito yung white. Tcharan! Wow, dami mo na pala nagawa, galing talaga. Oo, pinsan, dadagdagan ko pa yan. Baka madoble-doble ko pa nga kasi. Iniipon ko para next year. Sali ako ng bazaar. Subukan kong sumali ng bazaar. Marami pa dito. Marami na ako nagawa, pinsan. Papakita ko sa... Ayan o. Yan yung mga nagawa ko. Yan. Nagsiksikan sila doon. Lalagyan ko yan sila ng ganda ng sound dito kasi. Ganon. Balse. Ay, wala pala akong green na dahon. Yellow green. Ano yun? Ano yung pinsan? Yung yellow green. Alam mo ba yung Ukraine? Flag ng Ukraine. Yan yung flag nila. Yan yung flag nila, pinsan. Hirap maghanap ng green. Here. Thank you so much thank you so much for 6 viewers. Thank you. Huh? I need scissors. Sige, pinsan, walang problema. Thank you. Ba yan? Thank you so much for 7 viewers. Ito pa lang. Punta pala muna ako.
Adati sala ni tayo nyo, pinsan. Ako nung bata pa ako, never ako talaga nakaranas ng sayawan. Yung makisayaw pinsan ba, hindi ko talaga naranasan yan. Kaya noong pag may sayawan doon sa amin noon, doon sa La Union, never talaga ako nakikisali. Sabi nga pinsan, taga-butas lang ako ng upuan. Ang mga classmate ko nakikipagsayawan na, pero ako hindi. Ay na. Ako wala talaga pinsan, ewan ko ba. Pag may sayawan, andun ako, pero never akong hindi ako nakaranas ng one time, Valentine's yun eh. First time kong makisayaw. First time kong makisayaw, Valentine's Day. First dance ko, yung may game kasi na hanapin mo yung permiak tumapok ati sala. Ako wala talaga. Yung pinsan ba, yung hanapin mo daw yung kahati ng puso mo, ganon. Ang nahanap ko, matanda, hindi naman matanda kasi nung ako mga siya, mga 30 ganun siguro. Yun yung first dance ko. Yung matanda. Baka kalain mo, nung pagbalik ko nung 2013 doon, hinanap ko yung matanda na una kong naisaya, nagsayaw sa akin. Aba, binata pa daw, nasa Amerika. Ako, pinsan, oo, andun ako palagi pag may sayawan, pero tagabutas lang ako ng upuan. Sa totoo lang. Never akong sumayaw. Kasi yung mga tsuhin ko kasi, natatakot ako. Nung panahon na yun kasi, takot ako sa mga tsuhin ko eh. Kaya never kong naranasan yung magdalaga, yung makisayaw, yung isinasayaw ka. Never kong naranasan yun. Sobra kami, dumadayo pa kami. Ang kapatid ko pinsan, yun, dumadayo ng sayawan. Tapos, pag ang sayawan is parang pang private lang, ganon. Ay, yan, kwento niya talagang inaano daw niya yan. Parang inaakyat ganon.
Yung kapatid ko, pero ako hindi. Lumaki kasi ako sa mga lolo't lola ko. Kaya ano, alam mo naman mga matatanda noon pinsan, masyadong maselan. At saka doon sa amin kasi noon, pagka may nanligaw sa'yo, tapos nagtatago kayo, parang buong barangay, ganun. Parang buong barangay, inaano mo, pinapahiya mo, ganun. Ano kaya yung John Deere? Ayaw bumaba ang blade. Yan. Tapos na ulit ang isa. Isa naman. Ako pinsan, may kukunin lang ako sa labas. Balik. Oh, sige lang pinsan. No problemo.
Hmm.
Hmm. Done. Yan. Kunti lang yung red ko. Ang dami kong black, oh. Purple with red. Purple. May purple ako dito. May purple ako dito. Hmm. Hmm. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Subukan ko na ito. Madami ako nito eh. Again, I want to use a red. Red. Red, red, red. Okay. Hmm. I'll try. Colorful. Nagpatak. Hmm. Maganda siya. Ganda. Ganda niya. Mm. I want water.
Hi, honey. Let me guess, you're mad at me again. You're not speaking to me. Stop it. Don't be so difficult, hon.
Next time I will not talk to you during while we are eating.
Next time you'll what?
Nothing.
My God.
Because I'm not allowed to talk to you while in front of her.
Why?
She said.
No, I said something about the bone. I know. You want to make an argument out of it.
Was not in history books for a long time. And its attack on diversity efforts, inclusion efforts, this administration has made clear they are just fine with covering up the pain in our collective past. In an executive order titled Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History, President Trump railed against anything that doesn't, and I quote, remind Americans of our extraordinary heritage, consistent progress toward becoming a more perfect union, and unmatched record of advancing liberty, prosperity, and human flourishing. Now, I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. Whitewashing history, that doesn't make us stronger, doesn't make us better or great. It takes strength to acknowledge our past, our mistakes, and learn from those mistakes. And yes, of course, there's plenty of programming on public television the president might not like. The award-winning documentary series Frontline, for instance.
They put their faith in Donald Trump, and he deceived them.
I don't think by any large stretch can you characterize it as bipartisan. The select committee laid the path down for the Department of Justice.
Donald Trump is going to be the defendant and the candidate. It's hard to imagine how it's going to play out.
Now on Frontline, democracy on trial.
That was from last year. Then again, earlier this year, Frontline ran an hour titled Trump's Comeback, and throughout its long history, done important investigative reporting on all sorts of subjects, many of them having nothing to do with politics. But even within the political realm, there's plenty of programming on conservative viewpoints and conservative heroes.
Mr. Buckley, I've noticed that whenever you appear on television, you're always seated. Does this mean you can't think on your feet?
It's very hard to stand up carrying the weight of what I know.
That's from a profile on American Masters, a biography series. That one was about William F. Buckley. By the way, the show he created, Firing Line, that still airs on PBS stations, and so does Mr. Rogers, which underscores another aspect of the fight over public media. This is not the first time an administration has targeted public television. In fact, not the first time the Trump administration has. The first Trump administration tried to zero out funding for it. Congress said no. It survived in part because public broadcasting throughout those decades has been able to convince lawmakers of all stripes that Americans would be missing something without it, and that's true. I want to play you a clip from 1969. President Richard Nixon had just proposed deep cuts to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, just like now, and here's a very young Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, testifying before a Senate committee hearing about that funding. $20 million at the time was the funding, or about $180 million now. He's talking to Senator John Pastor of Rhode Island.
This is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes. And I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the script.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful, not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel? When you feel so mad you could bite. When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
Fred Rogers, 1969, and boy, could we use some of his wisdom now. Before I bring in our guests, I should mention out of transparency, I have a PBS connection. Sesame Street once gave me a big break.
This is Anderson Cooper in for Oscar the Grouch, who's on assignment at the dump. I'm here with two legendary Grouch newscasters, Dan Rather Not and Walter Cranky, to discuss today's letter in the news, the letter G. Say hello, Dan Rather Not.
I'd rather not.
Walter?
Grrr. Just for the record, I was not paid for that appearance. I volunteered. Joining us now is PBS CEO Paula Kruger and Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Ken Burns, whose many documentaries, including the Civil War, baseball, Prohibition, have aired on PBS over the years. He's working on a new project, The American Revolution, which will premiere on PBS in November. Ken, what do you say to people who don't believe taxpayer dollars should be spent to fund media or the arts at all? There's plenty of documentaries on Netflix, for instance. What's the value of public broadcasting?
Well, I think it's important that we do things together as a country. The enrichment that PBS has brought to my life, to our collective lives, is just undisputable. I think PBS is part of the pursuit of happiness machine. They're part of what makes the country what it is, like the national parks. We subtitled our series on the national parks America's Best Idea. This is the Declaration of Independence applied to broadcasting. I couldn't have made, Anderson, any of the films I've made, nearly 40 films over the course of the last 45 years, any other place but PBS. And it's not because I couldn't go raise the money to do it elsewhere. I could, with the kind of reputation that I've developed. It's just that they wouldn't give me the time to be able to explore these subjects. The footage you're showing now on the American Revolution, we spent more than 9 years working on it. By the time we broadcast it, will be 1 month short of 10 years. You don't get that kind of space anywhere else but public broadcasting. And it's just one of our crown jewels, like higher education that we mentioned at the beginning, like our national parks. This is who we are. It puts the us in the U.S.
Paula, help put this in perspective. What would a loss of federal funding mean for your organization, NPR, and NPR? What would the impact?
What player said, no, I don't want to do that. He said, oh, go ahead, push it, see what happens, find out. So Rashawn Evans finally got the guts up, went over, pushed the red button. Some lady came in with a Coke on a tray.
Once took the stage, he gave the new graduates a quick cheat sheet to help them navigate the real world. Listen.
It helps when you know that borders are not racist, speech is not violence, America is good, terrorists are bad, men can never become women, police are not criminals, and criminals are not victims.
Then the man who made the greatest political comeback ever told our future leaders how to win.
Never let anyone tell you that something is impossible. Ever, ever, ever. In America, the impossible is what we all do best. There's nothing you cannot do if you're willing to fight for it. You gotta fight, fight, fight. Whether you were born rich or poor, black or white, male or female in America, anyone can be a winner, and our whole country will be cheering you on. If you want to change the world, you have to have the courage to be an outsider. In other words, you have to take certain risks and do things a little bit differently. Otherwise, if that weren't the case, everybody would be successful. For the business majors here today, I challenge you not merely to use your talents for financial speculation, but to apply your great skills that you've learned and had to forging the steel and pouring the concrete of new American factories, plants, shipyards, and even cities which are going up all over our country. If you're here today and think that you're too young to do something great, let me tell you that you are wrong. You're not too young. You can have great success at a very young age. You're all very young. In America, with drive and ambition, young people can do anything. From the day you leave this incredible university, go out and fight tough, fight fair, but go out and fight. You're going to be very successful, because now is the time to work harder than you have ever worked before. Push yourself further than you have.
McDonald's is reporting its biggest quarterly global sales drop since the height of the COVID pandemic. It was the second consecutive quarter of declines at the Golden Arcs as customers pulled back spending amid economic uncertainty. The largest slump is happening in America, where same-store sales dropped more than 3.5%. Canadian sale numbers haven't been released.
The satellite on the radar earlier this evening looked like this, so dry for the rest of this evening, but after midnight, some of this moisture is going to start finding its way back up into the GTA. So it all gets going around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but as you wake up, 7, 8, 9 a.m., there's your widespread rain. The further north you are, the drier it's going to be. So you may walk away with a completely dry day for Barrie over towards Collingwood, and those showers in Toronto should end by 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Then we're good to go for the rest of the day. So outdoor activities are not a complete wipeout tomorrow, and nor for Sunday. Yes, there are showers, but it doesn't start in the morning. In fact, that rain will likely not get here until about 5-ish, give or take an hour, 5 p.m. on Sunday. So yes, a wet evening, but dry through the day. So there's what we're talking about when we say the rain will be mainly across the GTA, the Golden Horseshoe, and the further north you go. We'll get into some more sunny breaks and then drier conditions as well. This rain through tomorrow morning, it's only about 5 millimeters, so anywhere from 3 to 5 millimeters. Slightly higher amounts as you move around the Golden Horseshoe towards St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. All right, rainfall over the next 5 days, because pretty much for at least the next 4 or 5 days, you're going to want to walk with the umbrella. Likely higher amounts of rain falling up through the east end of the GTA and east along Lake Ontario, and especially Monday and Tuesday. That's when we have the highest probabilities of precipitation. Wednesday, I'm putting a 30% chance. It's only through the early morning, and then skies will begin to clear, and that leads us into a nice sunny end to the week. Let's talk about temperatures. Warm today, much cooler off to the north. In fact, these are the temperatures that are just sinking south and pushing the 20s out of here tomorrow. The other thing that's going to keep us cool through this weekend is this persistent north-northeast flow going all day Saturday and going Sunday as well. That's the coldest wind direction possible for Toronto. The warmest wind direction is southwest. The coldest is northeast, and that's going to keep temperatures slightly below seasonal this weekend. Gusts to 50 on Monday. Tuesday, scattered showers. Wednesday, we'll clear up the skies, and that leads us into nice sunshine to end off the next work week.
You killed my wife. You're not gonna get my money.
We're going to take good care of you.
This isn't on all of us now.
Thank you, pinsan. Gumagawa ko ng ano. Ah. Ilan nagawa while wala ako? Ano, ito pinsan. Ayan, natapos ko siya. Tapos, gumagawa ako ulit. Ito. Ano, matagal din. Kasi gagawin mo pa siya isa-isa ganito.
C. Cheetah from the Tarzan movies, or D. Lassie. Now they are all deserving, but do you know which
Matagal
one
din,
actually
pinsan.
has a star? I'll tell you the answer when AFP.
Kasi one set yan. Pitong piraso.
I'm gonna set myself on fire.
5 petals.
Quite some time ago,
Yun. Ang allergy ko.
Yeah, I did often confuse the two here.
Ay, naku, mabusisi rin. Oo, pinsan, mabusisi talaga. Yan o, kagaya niya na. Ganito. Lalagyan mo pa siya ng ganito. Anuhan mo siya ng ganyan. Yan. Tapos isa-isahin mo siyang ganyan. Not isa-isahin. Gawin mo siyang ganyan. Yan. Ito, pitong ano to, stem. Ganyanin mo pa. Kailangan ayusin mo yung pag-ano niya kasi kung hindi, wala rin. Tatabingi.
Your average weekly shop costs
Yan.
less at Walmart than at any other major
Tapos
grocery store.
gaganyan mo siya.
We save you time and money by price checking thousands of items, so you don't have to.
Dito ako nagtatagal eh. Kasi kailangan talagang hindi siya tabingi. Yan.
When we work to end inequity, we help start something better. Support even the odds.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars. It's all Brian can talk about.
it's back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
soft pretzel crust with cheddar cheese sauce is back.
It's back. It's back. Try delicious pretzel crust at Little Caesars. Still only
Kaya di din madali pinsan.
She's thinking you won't have time to eat like you should.
Natrabaho.
Don't worry about that. But we can all rest easy. 'Cause that's
Mamanhid kamay mo dyan. Ano, masakit. Yung ano, pag hindi mo pa siya gamay, sasakit talaga yung mga daliri mo. Dito, lalo na dito. Dito, sasakit talaga. Dito. Sasakit talaga. Pero pag alam mo na pinsan yung ano, wala naman na, hindi naman na siya. Pag umpisa lang talagang masakit. Lalo na dito. Yung mga ibang klaseng bulaklak, masakit talaga sa daliri. Sanay ka na, kaya mabilis ka na. Ano, pinsan ko, umpisa ko pa lang kaya ng mga middle of January, gano'n. Ay, hindi. Ano, February ako nag-umpisa. Pero yung mga nagawa ko, pinamigay ko.
The story of Centralia is full.
Ano, nung una, masakit talaga.
It used to just be a quaint
Masakit siya.
mining town. But now it's a total ghost town.
February 14th, 1981. Valentine's Day. 12-year-old Todd Dombowski is playing in his grandmother's backyard when he notices something strange coming up.
Gawa lang ako ng gawa kasi
You see this
malay mo.
smoke coming up from the lawn.
Tapos bibili ako ng yung ribbon na ano, gagawa ako ng rose.
Into a steaming hole.
Yung ribbon naman siya, yung gagawin ko.
saves himself by grabbing onto a tree root.
Hirap kasi ito pinsan pag ito yung gamitin mo na ano,
And
mabusisi.
Centralia became a big story.
Todd Dombowski was
Mabusisi
claimed
siya.
when the earth opened up below his feet.
Kaya parang ayokong gawin kasi pag yun yung ginawa ko, wala na akong matatapos.
The cause of the smoke in Todd's grandmother's backyard becomes obvious.
Mapanda,
A fire that was deliberately started. and
pangal daw.
extinguished, had in fact never gone out. And it was now being fueled by the vast reserves of coal located underneath the town.
Centralia was a very typical small coal town in the anthracite region of northeastern Pennsylvania. Its only purpose for being was to mine coal. And its growth
Pangal daw,
was
pinsan.
in tandem with the coal industry.
Hindi ko nga alam kung maganda siya eh. Kasi inimbento ko lang to siya. Kasi marami na akong ganito. Tapos ano, yung red ko kunti lang. Ay naapo, nagpudot sobra. Ungar, nagad-adot. Yung ilong ko. Nagad-ado ito yung kumkumplin niya. Pinsan. Nga kwa, nga. Nagpudot ka no ita.
Landfill didn't meet state regulations. And they arranged for the local fire department to set the dump on fire to clean it up. And they had done this in the past. They would just go out and set it on fire, let it burn for a while, and then wash it down with water from a tanker truck and go away, everything's fine. Except this time it wasn't fine.
Ay my God, yung ilong ko talaga.
In the garbage, and then it moved.
Ito'y kabsat. Ijay north na nagapuan me.
And that was how the money
Ay
started.
agis isnupay.
Eventually, the fire broke out of the ground. You can see.
Adapay snoda ijay. Nagapuan me, ijay north.
It's so hot. If you got even like within 10 feet of it, and your face was frying. You know, it was that hot. They sent the fire department back, but the damage was already done. Attempts to put out the Centralia coal seam fire have been a total failure. Starting in 1962,
Mapangay jay ko kabsat, Switzerland. Ijay anak mo. Tapno saan niya napudot.
continued to spread underground despite multiple attempts to put it out. And then over a period of 20 years, the fire just kept growing out of control to the point where smoke and steam come up out of the ground, where the ground is as hot as 900 degrees Fahrenheit in places, just consuming the entire town.
The people of Centralia want to know when the 20-year-old mine fire will be put out. They appear tired of living with the danger of toxic gases entering their homes. Representative Frank Harrison says it won't be easy.
And it was at this point that the town started to shut down and close shop.
Residents take a vote to move their homes. The federal government forked over another $1 million to move them to safety.
Businesses started closing. People started leaving. And the government actually ended up buying the land to stop people from coming back in. Because they realized at that point that they had no way to stop this fire. And sadly, this fire is raging right up to this day.
But why? After nearly 6 decades, why won't the fires go out?
It's a question that's almost impossible to know because not only can we not see through the rock, any attempts to try to figure it out by drilling holes in the ground, for example, you provide channels of air that can actually feed the fire. And so you can try to cut off the fuel by digging
Yung best
out
friend ko
around
ng 10 years
to
sa
remove
akin,
the coal to
siya
prevent
tumira
it from spreading. And you can also
sa
address the
Manila,
fire by
dyan siya,
pouring water
Albert.
directly
Oh,
in
nasa
through
Alberta siya?
channels underground to try to cool that fire.
Parang doon din, nag-i-snow pa rin, pero hindi ko alam.
All of these were tried in the case of Centralia. Not one of them succeeded.
You would think we understand fires enough that we could take care of this, because we know for a fire to occur, you have to have an ignition source, a spark. Then you have to have fuel. Well, it's a coal mine, so coal is pretty good fuel. Then you also have to have an oxidizer. That oxidizer is air in most cases. But if they cut off the tunnels or whatever's going into this mine, no air should get down there. Eventually, all the air should burn out and it should go.
Malayo kami sa Alberta, pinsan.
What I've been told by engineers
Ano?
is that they can pump water down there for a year, and if they turn the water off,
2 araw na biyahe ata.
the fire would start right back up again. It's a tremendous monster.
Once an accident like this happens underground where you have a fire burning, as
Dan.
time goes on, the odds
Pero
of
meron, gagawa pa ako ng maliliit.
But with a coal fire, you're talking temperatures of 1,000 to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. As the fire grows and grows and grows like this underground, if all that heat is radiated through the earth, it warms up the earth and you get to the point where you can see temperatures 200-300 degrees on the surface. And asphalt and different materials actually start melting. Sinkholes open up, houses collapse. This can go on for a very, very long time. In the case of Centralia, even to this day, 50 years later, you see steam vents with toxic gases being emitted out of the ground. You see vegetation that has been destroyed because of those gases and the heat. This is almost a wasteland caused by these underground fires. Some people have estimated that it would take 200 years for this fire to burn out, and my estimation, nobody knows. We could be talking 2, 3, 4, 500 years. There's no answer to that question. It's basically hell on earth.
Centralia, Pennsylvania, once booming, now barren. The ghost of a town that once was. The few structures that remain seem to defy the fumes to consume them. Is the story a cautionary tale about the futility of mankind trying to bend nature to its will? Perhaps. And it might be fire of another kind that could wreak havoc on a level modern man has never seen.
Pero once lang kami ulit nagkita.
Whose eruption
Ganon.
would occur on such a massive scale, they could bring us to the brink of extinction.
Hindi na siya nagbabakasyon, pinsan.
This is evidence of what happened on Oak Island.
The Curse of Oak Island, all new Sunday at 10 on the History Channel. Streaming Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by
Parang di na niya ako kilala, pero ayos lang yun. Ninang siya ng anak ko. Ayun yung isang mukha ng mga Pilipino, pinsan. May dalawang mukha ang Pilipino ay. Alam mo na yon. Pero ako, andun pa rin ako. Ano pa rin ako. Kasi mahirap kalimutan yung pinagmulan, di ba?
Oh yeah, you'll love Swiffer or your money back. Oh wow, this is comfier than our actual cat.
Ang ano ko lang naman, ako, yung mga pinsan ko ang nag-ano sa akin.
What a nice barbecue.
Umaayaw sa akin, hindi ako. Sila yung hindi pumapansin sa akin. Kapag umuwi ako, wala akong problema.
A personal EKG authorized for sale by Health Canada.
Cardio allows you to take a device out of your pocket or out of your purse and do an EKG in 30 seconds, and it will detect whether or not you're in normal rhythm or in atrial fibrillation.
It's in my pocket all the time. It goes where I go.
Mayaman na siya pero never ako nagsabi sa kanya, basta ang importante na tulungan siya bago siya nagpunta ng Canada. Yun yung ano, pinsan, no, yung parang ewan ko, mahirap anuhin, pero pasalamat ako dahil nung nakadating ako dito, never akong nakaperwisyon ng tao. Sariling sikap ko ang pagpunta ko dito. Hindi ako nakaano ng tao. Wala silang, yung mga kamag-anak ko, wala silang masabi na natulungan nila ako, wala silang ganun. Kasi sarili ko lang yung ano, parang sarili kong ano. Pero yung ang hirap nun pinsan, no, yung alam mong best friend mo, alam mong ano, tapos biglang magbago pag nakadating na sa ibang bansa. Ako ano, andon pa rin ako, nakatungtong pa rin ang dalawang paa ko sa lupa. Mahirap na, baka madapa ako. Never kong ano. Basta ako, kung sino yung nakakakilala sa akin, samantalang masaya siya, noon kahit minsan wala kami ulam or mayroon masaya kami kung anong meron kami.
May 3rd, 2018.
Yun yung
As it principally eliminated
ano,
an earthquake.
mahirap.
5.0
Ngayon,
Richter scale.
wala nga siya work noong nasa akin siya. Wow. Tapos nga hindi ka nakilala pinsan.
Ground cracks open. 2,000 degree
Yun ang mahirap, no?
boils to the surface.
Di ka nakilala, nakadating lang ng abroad. May mga taong ganun.
Destroying
Di ka nakilala. Nakadating lang ng abroad.
Massive volcanic eruption. We're used to looking at volcanoes that look dormant and assuming that there's no threat. But if there's one thing that the geologic history of the Earth warns us about over and over and over again, it's that there's unintended consequences of the Earth being alive.
Maraming ganun.
Korea proved that in 2018.
Nakadating lang ng abroad, hindi na marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan.
Large volcano that sits in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it is generally known for these lava flows that it puts out that unfortunately got into a populated area. This very large eruption unfortunately destroyed over 700 homes, destroyed some really pristine areas of the island.
You have very kind of soupy, watery lava that was racing.
Maraming ganyan, pinsan.
The problem is
Maraming ganyan.
populous. We have folks, many of them, who live there, and there is nowhere to run. I think the Kilauea eruption is one of nature's great warnings.
Kahit mga
So long
Pilipino
as we're
dito.
alive, we will face the threat of major volcanic eruptions.
In 2018, Mount Kilauea topped the U.S. Geological Survey's ranking of the most dangerous volcanoes in the United States. But according to experts, even Kilauea's cataclysmic power pales in comparison to others that could potentially pose great threats to not only cities, but the entire world.
Maraming ganyan,
They're simply known
pinsan.
as super volcanoes.
Nuclear weapons, yeah, we track them. We know who has them. Global warming, we have computer programs that simulate global warming. And meteors from outer space, we track asteroids. But when it comes to supervolcanoes, we know almost nothing. The supervolcano
Kasi akala nila nasa taas na sila eh.
destruction on a scale that we haven't seen in modern civilization. A super eruption is meant to describe a truly extraordinary explosive eruption. That's about 1,000 cubic kilometers in volume. That's how much material is ejected.
According to volcanologists, there are, at this very moment, between 12 and 20 active supervolcanoes scattered across the Earth.
We've all seen the devastation of volcanoes. We see this catastrophe with all the gas that's coming out of the volcano, with all the debris and all the dirt. But supervolcano eruptions can
6.
disrupt the atmosphere
Okay.
itself, sufficient to affect the weather of the entire planet.
Tapos bukas ko na naman to siya buuin, pinsan.
Sunlight and that bounce or trap sunlight.
Ito, bukas ko naman siya buuin.
The planet's heat balance.
Anuhin ko lang siya ngayon. 2, 4, 6.
Darkening the world.
gases can also poison agriculture, poison plants, and that of course will have a chain reaction down the food web. So these eruptions can really cause a huge impact. Even if the lava only affects one small area, they can have a global impact, even thousands and thousands of miles away from where the eruption occurred.
It's hard to imagine a supervolcano causing a worldwide cataclysm. But one such event is believed to have already occurred, long before humans walked the earth. An apocalypse that is referred to as the Great Dying.
Great Dying was a mass extinction of plants and animals that occurred about 250 million years ago, the largest that occurred in the history of Earth.
Geologists call it the Permian-Triassic extinction. It's the largest mass extinction in the geologic record across all time. And this is related to a major volcanic eruption in northern Siberia that injected
Pinsan,
so much
magpapaalam na ako kasi lubat na naman ako.
of all marine life. We lost 70% of all vertebrate land animals. This was so bad, even the bugs got taken out. So the Great Dying is one of geologic history's great warnings that large volcanism can pose a true existential threat to all life on Earth.
Lake Taupo, New Zealand. This body of water is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the country. Due to its natural beauty. But deep below the lake's surface lies an active supervolcano.
Taupo is a beautiful place. It's serene, it's got a lovely lake, mountains, geysers, and hot springs. Absolutely gorgeous.
These nice low-lying areas that tend to fill up with water and be very beautiful often indicate lurking underneath you is an empty former super eruption. The irony is the beauty of the lake often goes hand in hand with the lurking threat of volcanic systems ready to go.
The last super eruption, the Taupo volcano, occurred about 26,500 years ago. We know Taupo is restless. It has lots of seismicity. The ground goes up and down. And scientists in New Zealand have tied that to magma moving in the subsurface. There's geothermal
Bye, pinsan. Lubat na ako.
system's not dead. It's alive.